So the subject of this, the first session will be about branding and how can we change the status quo or the the basic knowledge of uh, people saying that brand identity is mostly about logos and colors. So that's going to be the subject of this session. Before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Reda. Uh, I'm a self-taught designer. I started doing design since 2016, I think, or 2015, in between. Uh, Design was my passion since I can remember, and I didn't get the chance to be a designer since the beginning, but I did my best to do so. And at some point, it was challenging, but I enjoyed it, so I had to do. I mostly specialize in branding. That's something I enjoy doing and I enjoy working on. Lately, I'm trying to do more art direction projects to expand my experience. And like you see in the slide, I have my brand, my personal brand, which is it's called Made by Reda, where I share content about design, about tools and techniques and so on. You can check. I will share with you my account at the end, and you can check it out or reach out if you want to. uh, so, uh, why do we have brand design or brand identities to begin with? Excuse me. So basically, the idea is with with in our age, there is a lot of brands and there are a lot of companies that a lot of brands get created every single day. So the need for having a competitive advantage is a must. So that's why creating a brand identity that reflects the the brand is something there's something interesting. So what is exactly constitutes a brand identity? This is the common knowledge or the status quo that we have currently, which is a brand identity is a logo and some colors and maybe a type or two that the brand uses it on a regular basis. These are some of the brands that we know that have a consistent and a good branding. Nike is a famous one. Everyone knows this swoosh. You can recognize it anywhere. You can know it's another Nike without any other elements, and also the black and white combo. Starbucks is another one. The green used by Starbucks is it's a landmark at this point. Every person knows that this is uh, Starbucks color, and also this is the logo that everyone knows. McDonald's also is another one which is famous with red and yellow combo. So these brands have a strong stand in the market. They're famous. They're strong. They're very recognizable. Supposedly because of their colors and logos. So this is what we're going to see now. What's the role of visual elements in brand recognition? Like I said, these brands, especially big brands, they're famous. They're very recognizable because of their color, because of their good logos. But that's the misconception. Like it says here, brand elements like colors and logos create a consistent look that you can recognize everywhere. The misconception is that the visual parts of the brand that's always what we see every day. That's what uh, that's the most thing that we see about a brand. In the communication, we see the colors everywhere. We see the logo and everything in packaging and in bottles and in the streets, billboards and so on. So we assume that the that's the main part of a brand. But the reality is, what makes Starbucks and Nike and McDonald's and Coca-Cola and all these brands successful is not the colors or their logos. This is what we usually see. This is what you see in social media. This is what you see in billboards. This is what you see in the streets, packagings, and so on. You see the logos, the typefaces they use, the colors, and so on. But this is what behind all of that, the strategy of the brand. There is a big part of the brand that we don't see, that it's not clear to every customer, which is the the marketing plans, the brand personality, the vision, the voice of the brand, how they communicate, and so on. So this is the whole thing. This is the brand. What we this is what we mean when we say a brand. But usually the top part, it's what we usually see and what we assume is the brand, but it's more than that. So what are the elements of a brand, of a global brand, or some people call it a holistic brand? So we have the biggest circle in red, which is the brand. That's the brand. The inner circle in blue, which is the brand identity, and then we have, and the core of the brand is the visual identity. So the bigger circle includes the smaller circles. So what is a brand? A brand is a multi-dimensional narrative that transcends the visual. So a brand is not the colors or the logo or the typography or the imagery or any of that. That's part of the brand, but that's not the whole thing. The brand is a story. The brand is a is is something more than that. Excuse me. Uh, so basically, the brand is the perception, of a customer, of a brand. So how people perceive your company or your brand. Uh, there is a famous quote by a famous marketer. I forget his name, but he said, uh, "It's basically this: the brand is what people say about you behind your back." So it's the customer's perception of your brand. It contains the brand story, the vision of the brand, the brand values, the statements of the brand, the promise of the brand. What is this brand promising its customers? The brand identity subset is a subset of a brand and refers to the tangible, visual and non-visual elements. So uh, uh, the brand identity is a part of the brand, but it's not the whole thing. And it contains visual identity, which is the visual parts that we see, the brand experience, the voice of the brand, the tone of the brand, the messaging of the brand, how the brand communicates, what is its tone? Is it friendly? Is it professional? Is it casual? And so on. And we have the slogan and the tagline and so on. The visual identity is the visual part, which is what we see, which includes the logo, the colors, the color palettes, and so on. So what makes these brands successful is not the colors, even though that's a strong element to have. But what makes it strong is having a strong story and is having a strong background, a strategy that it defines it. From that, we can create visual elements that aligns with that vision. So these brands are successful, but because they have a strong brand story, they have a strong brand promise to the customers, they have a strong vision for what they want to do to their customers, and that dictates how the visuals will look. So we know how the digital age is evolving now. Uh, there is a lot of mediums, there is a lot of platforms, there is a lot of brands in the market. Every brand now is an international brand. Just you need to create an account and a website, and then you can access every corner of the world. So this presents a lot of challenges for brands, and that necessitates need makes brand evolve. These are some examples of brands that did it properly. We saw the rebranding of Mastercard a few years ago, a couple of years ago. It was they went from complicated and multi-elements in their logo to just a very simple flat design. Same thing with Burger King. I think it's not a couple of years, I think, or even less. This is one of my favorite brands. They evolved in a uh, very practical, very dynamic way. Same thing with Firefox. They have a very strong visual identity. It has dynamic. This is what we call a dynamic brand, which is basically having a graphic element that you can use in every possible way. So you can change the layouts and use the same colors and have different more elements. Same thing with Pepsi. Uh, this is a new branding. I think it was done this year or last year, which is also dynamic branding. Yeah, exactly. So this is a good example. The branding done by the team of Brand Excellence is a really good example of how brand should evolve and adapt to the market or to their customers' needs. So this is a branding that is flexible and can change in every possible scenario. The brand voice and messaging. So brand messaging is the statement that a brand uses to communicate its value. So basically, it's how uh, what is the message? What what does this brand promise its customers? It contains the value proposition, the mission and vision statements, slogan, brand story, and so on. Which is basically what is this promise? What does this brand promise its customers? The brand voice is how this message is communicated uh, throughout all platforms of that this brand is going to communicate. And is it friendly? Uh, is it casual? Is it professional? Is it and so on and so forth. So it can include the tone of the brand, the style of brand, personality, which we'll see in a few, which is exactly this. Yeah. So the brand personality is for me. How I use this is if you imagine the brand as a person, how would you describe that person? How the qualities, the characters that you would give this person, and so on and so forth. How can you craft a compelling brand narrative? So this is some tools that you can use to create a compelling brand story. Uh, uh, a great brand story should have these four elements. So it needs to be memorable, it needs to be consistent, relatable, and then relevant. So you need to be relevant to the customers they communicate to. They need to relate to them, to their daily life, to their struggles, their problems, and so on. It needs to be consistent because consistency is key for brands. Because you can't deviate from your message or from your goal or your vision and so on. And also, it needs to be memorable, which is part of the job of the visual elements. It helps the brand be easily memorable. So yeah, being memorable leaves a lasting impression on the customers and ensuring that they remember the brand. This can be done through visual elements. It can be done through a specific style of communication, like we see some brands use a mixture of Darija and English, or specifically English, or so on. The consistency, like we said, it's throughout elements of the brand. This helps the brand be easily recognizable in the market. Relatable, like I said, it's you need to be relatable to your customers. You need to know their struggles, their problems, their daily lives, and relevance is the same way. You need to resonate with your customers. Yeah, so this is basically what we talked about. You need to understand your customers. You need to know how their daily life looks like, what they struggle with, etc. The purpose of the brand, uh, the founding story. The founding story is a tool that it's used by brand uh, to communicate with their customers or to relate to them by telling them a story of the creator of the brand, how they created uh, their brand because of some specific reason or their passion for something. These are some of the good examples of how to tell a company story. Coca-Cola uh, did this campaign a couple of years ago, and I think most of you remember when it was done here in Morocco too. You could share a Coca-Cola with a friend of yours. You get them a one with their names and so on. Yeah, so this is a good tool to for storytelling for brands. I think most of you remember the Think Different campaign of Apple. It was a revolutionary campaign that they did uh, Steve Jobs was there in the company. Was CEO of the company in '97, uh, which featured a few uh, famous, innovative, and disruptors in a few things, in a few fields. uh, the age of the experiences is something that we see in every day in our lives. We seek experiences. Uh, we seek new things to try and to see. And brands they need to cater to their customers and create experiences for them to grow and to grow with them to connect with them. Uh, yeah, so we seek individual experiences as individuals, and so the brands they have to craft experiences for customers. Yeah, one of the reasons is excuse me. One of the reasons is being living in a digital age. It's easy to share your experiences with everyone in the world through social media and so on. So brands need to keep this in mind. Uh, yeah, these are some examples of how to be consistent and create brand experiences for customers, which is basically understanding the brand essence. Brand they need to have they need to have a vision. They need to have a core value of their own that drives their business. Uh, Creating a brand style guide or a brand guideline, it's something that ensures using brand elements, visual brand elements mostly. It can also be for messaging and for communication. It ensures the consistency of brand elements. User experience is one thing that there is a big too, which is interaction with digital mediums. Yeah, multi-channel integration is basically for in our age we have there is different uh, facets for brands. So there is a digital platforms, there is offline communication, billboards, and so on. So they need to be considered for all of that. Environment consideration, which is the space for stuff like coffee shops or brands with physical places. They need to consider the 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 alignment of their brand with how the space looks, how it feels, what vibes there is, and so on. So Starbucks is a famous example for this, uh, uh, their spaces are cozy and cool, and they're fun, they're chill. They have uh, there's music everywhere, chill music and so on. So Starbucks is a famous brand for crafting a good experience for their customers, even through social media. They always try new things. They always try different different strategies and creative strategies to connect with their customers. Uh, yeah, so the space is very welcoming, very comfortable, to chill and cozy and so on. So these are some of the things that makes that Starbucks experience very good. They have a good customer service. They're friendly. They're helpful. They'll help you get what you need. They'll help you choose the right place for you. The customer needs, they will adapt to their customers. They will listen to their customers. If they need something new, if something is not working for them, they will work on changing that. The consistency of their products, the quality of their products, you will always experience uh, the same quality wherever you go, and that makes the customer comes back. Digital solutions, like we said, it's excuse me. Like we said, they're always trying new techniques, new strategies to connect with their customers. Uh, yes, Nike is also is another brand that is famous uh, for for having a good experience with their customers and being they have Nike is known for having a good brand story and a good value and vision for their brand. So they know exactly what they want to do. They push artists and creatives and athletes, and they connect with their community. So basically, this is the end of the talk. Like we said, the visual elements of a brand, they're not the whole. I think what we see is not it's not the whole thing. A brand is more than just visual elements. It's a lot of strategy. There is a lot of the brand voice, the messaging, the vision, the core values of the brand, what they stand for. These elements drive the visual element. So when you see a very successful brand that they have a good visuals, it's not because they have good visuals only. You can have a good visual, but it's not gonna work in the long run. It will work for a while, but if you don't have a good strategy, if you don't have a good communication plan, if you don't have a good core value for your brand, it's not gonna work. So basically, the there is a lot of elements that makes the the visual elements work. They drive the visual elements basically. So this is the the illustration we saw before. It's there is what we see at the top. That's what you usually see in billboards and in packaging and all sorts of communication elements. But behind that, there is a lot of work. Uh, there is a lot of things that we don't see that makes a brand. Yeah, thank you everyone for listening, for attending this very quick session. My name is Reda. This is uh, my social network. I'm mostly uh, on Instagram. Reach out to me. Talk to me if you have any questions. If you need anything. And thank you.
Thank you, Reda. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sana.
It was a great talk, exactly how I imagined it.
I'm
The
glad.
goal from the talk was mainly to explain to people how the brand identity is beyond logos and colors, and it was a great way to present things. Thank you so much, Reda.
Thank you.
We have by the way, guys, Reda is the let's say, I'm gonna call it responsible, or the creator or the founder of the community, one of the communities that are a partner of ours. One more brief.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the initiative of creating such
Okay.
a beautiful community. It's still new, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna go places.
So,
Awesome, awesome.
yeah, I
There
think
are some questions. Yes,
okay. Yeah.
you said. You said.
I said if there is any questions, I'm happy to answer if I can.
Yeah, yeah. We dropped a comment in the comment section, and apparently there are some questions for you. I'm gonna get started. There is Abslam. Hello, Abslam. Thank you for joining the event. Well, Abslam is asking about what are some of the Moroccan brands that do their branding right. Let's call it right in Morocco for you, in your opinion.
Okay. Uh, Hi, Absalom. Thank you for the question. There is some good brands. I'm not gonna say there isn't. There's a lot of Moroccan brands that I like and that they know what they're doing, but I can't remember. Um, the branding for brand excellence is a good one. I mentioned that in the slide. I don't know if you saw. It's a good
Yeah,
branding. It's
I noticed. I
done very
noticed.
properly. It's very flexible. It's very dynamic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Moroccan
much.
brand.
Thank you so much. Actually, Amin is our brand manager, and he did a great job with that. So
Yeah,
big
it's
up
a
to
really good one.
Amin.
Yeah.
Great, great. Yes, there is Black on that is saying not Black on Ayub. Sorry, he's asking probably Jamila is one of the good Moroccan
Yes.
brands.
Yes. Jamila lately they've been their branding is decent. They didn't change a lot uh, of the main identity that we grew up with. They فهمتي خلاو الessence of the brand that we grew up with, which is a good strategy. It فهمتي it keeps the emotional attachment that we had when we were kids, but they created some good campaigns, some good fun and quirky and weird campaigns that young people would relate to. Yeah, Jamila is a good one.
Yeah.
Jamila, there was another one. Jamila, Mirinda. Yeah, بحكم Mirinda, they didn't do branding. It was just a communication campaign, but it was good.
There is Muhammad, I
I
believe,
s-
who's
yeah,
saying. There is Muhammad, I believe, who's saying probably. Yeah, there is
yeah.
this
It
iced tea
it's
brand called
it's
Chai. I've never heard of it though.
yeah, it's still a small company. It's a small brand. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, they have a decent branding. Yeah,
awesome. It's a Moroccan one.
it's actually in Tangier here.
Ah, it's Tangerine.
Yes,
Awesome, awesome. That's cool.
yeah.
There's also Sukaina saying that probably the tomato paste. Aisha,
Yes, Aisha, it's a
of
good one.
course.
Yeah. Thank you, Sukanya, for this.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Abd Salam, for asking this question that brought us to other comments, took us to other
Aslam, if
comments.
you want, reach out to me for Instagram and we can talk about. I'll do some research and I can answer you if you want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. There are some other questions though. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right. There is Mohammed asking probably if you can give us an example of a brand story, if you have any, you created for a brand that you worked with, like just a brand story and something that inspired you, probably, maybe.
Yeah, actually, there is. I had one in mind. It's for people in Tangier, they would know. It's Cinema Alcazar.
Okay.
Cinema Alcazar. It's a very historic. It's one of the first cinemas in Tangier. I think it was opened in 1913 or something like that. Then it worked for a few years, was opened and closed, and then it was closed for a very long time until last year. Uh, I think, yeah, the beginning of last year, 2022, and I got to work on the branding of Alcazar. It's an emotional one for me. It's something in my city. I always wanted to see it open, and I was really happy that I got the chance to work on it. And it has a lot of history. It has a lot of emotional. People can relate to it. The people in the close by, they tell you stories about when it was open and so on. So yeah, that's what that one I get to work on that. It has a really good story. Thank you, Mohammed, for the question.
That's cool. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for the question. Thank you, Reda. There is this question from Graphi Studio, that's a studio, asking from your experience, how do you educate new clients about the importance of branding? Oh, well, that's quite a question because
Yeah,
mainly branding studios or freelancers or brand designers, they have this challenge with the clients, especially here in Morocco. Um People do not really have that culture of branding yet. What do you think, Brandon?
yeah, I
Reda?
agree with you. I agree with you. That's a big problem with companies. Uh, all you can do is explain to them, uh, what is branding, how it can benefit their company. Some of them gonna get it, some of them are not. So you just explain.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
you
you can
try. I mean,
you
if
can
it doesn't
base
work,
it
it
on
doesn't work.
voila on results. Results. It should
Yeah,
be
but
results driven because
that's the problem. It's for especially for the visual elements, you can't really base it on. There's no data to explain how branding can help the company.
mm,
So there is some stuff that you can back up with numbers and stuff. For the most part, it's tricky.
yeah, yeah. Uh, that's true. That's true. And we all
But yeah,
wish.
to answer this question practically,
Yeah.
what you
Mm.
can do is have a session with your clients, walk them through your entire process of branding. What would you do? What is the strategy that you will do? And then they will give you an answer. It's either they're gonna like it or not.
Yeah, yeah, probably, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Not a question. There is Badr. Not a question, but he's saying that he's happy to see you once again after you guys met in an old community, apparently,
It's been
after
ages. It's been a few
ages.
years. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, again, we're back to
Nice
the
to see you,
power of
buddy.
communities and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's good. Nice to see you, buddy.
So,
I hope to catch up soon. Yeah, thanks.
yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. That's it, I guess. We're gonna let you go, Reda.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your talk. It was super super
Pleasure is all mine.
insightful. And again, thank you so much for accepting our invite. And you guys can talk to Reda. He's very approachable. And if you have any questions or anything, you
Yes,
can just
please do reach out to
reach
me. It's
out to
okay.
him. Yeah, and also big up to you also for the community part, everything you're
Thank
doing
you.
beside work. Thank you
I'm
so
trying.
much, and
Thank you for the invitation. It's really a pleasure.
thank you so much, and see you soon, inshallah.